Hello, friends. How you doing today? So real quick, I wanted to catch up on an article that actually a few of you have sent me. I think I got this article about 10 times, maybe 12. It's from Market Watch, and it's an opinion. It says, what's the single best investment for the next decade? And always trying to give full credit where credit is due. This was written by Mark Hulbert, Hulbert. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and published on August 10th. So to get this article half a dozen times in less than 24 hours is pretty cool. So I got to admit, when I first saw this article, I assumed, given that it was by a financial organization, not really a newspaper per se, but given that they predominantly sell stocks and bonds, I thought it was going to go down the normal route of saying, hey, stocks are better than everything else. So while it certainly opens with the history, and they make great care to go back to the 1800s and talk about stocks over a course of time, increasing by, I think it's 6.8% or something like that. Then they talk about bonds producing, I don't remember, 2 or 4%. And then it comes to real estate, 0.6%. Obviously, this argument, while repeated frequently, misses out on leverage, right? You don't really pay cash for a house, you borrow it and you get levered improvements. It doesn't take into account rent and cash flow. It's typically just a straight up house in appreciation. So most of the times when you read articles like this, they are flawed from the jump because the person writing it knows stocks or maybe they know bonds. But in this article, I think they gave it a fair shake. The basic net of it, as they broke it down, was first they went after stocks. And they basically said, again, over 10 years, they're suspecting that stocks don't have much room to grow, right? They talk about stocks on normal metrics being anywhere from overvalued to really overvalued. They made no claim to when they thought stocks would get hit, but they just said if your time frame is the next 10 years, they fully expect a bear market, and it could be deep and it could be long. And thus trying to come out of that, coming back to even would be tough. So they were pretty much down on stocks. Then it went to bonds, and their basic point on bonds is, how much lower can they go, right? Especially when you take into account inflation, if you even believe inflation, right? If a bond gives you 1.9 and inflation's 1.6, you're really making 0.3. So they pretty quickly obliterated bonds. Then they talked about crypto a little and some other stuff, and they're like, could go to zero quickly with regulation or an alternative or anything of that nature. And then it came to real estate. And they basically said real estate in recessions, other than, the 2006 to 10 recession, however you call that, real estate's done quite well in downturns, and other than the asset bubble that was recreated in '08. Especially if you look into being levered, conservative, fixed rate, 3 and 4% in rental inflation. So again, I don't know why, but I print things out, make notes. Mark Hulbert, again from Market Watch, comes out to say that, hey, if your horizon is today and 10 years forward, it is real estate is the likely winner. The other thing that was interesting, and I want to make sure I find it, they said for every 2 people who picked stocks, there were actually 3 people that picked real estate. So it was a pretty decent spread in the scheme of things. So, and again, they did a bank rate actually did the survey. So it was a bank rate survey of 1,000 people. Yeah, 1,000 investors. And again, these investors likely were stock and bond investors. So for them to say that they think real estate, again, over the next 10 years is going to be a better investment, I thought was pretty eye-opening. I still think there's lots of things that could go wrong with real estate. I think stuff 2x the median is in trouble. I think there are some Airbnb and short-term rental regulations coming. I think high-priced cities could be in trouble. But when you look in general at below the median affordable level, rental incomes, just mom and pop, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage rentals, I think you're going to be in really, really good shape. So I agree. I agree 100% with the article that if you were to say what's going to be the better investment from August 11th, 2019 to August 11th, 2029, I think real estate is by far the best option. All right, everyone, let me know what you think. What do you think is the best investment for the next 10 years? Leave the comments below, hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe. Thank you very much.